watching the Newshour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Leader of the BRS, K Kavitha, has just left the Enforcement Directorate office after 8 hours of a marathon grilling today. But the day started on a dramatic note, with the leader taking on the Enforcement Directorate and claiming that reports of her having destroyed her mobile phone to erase evidence were deliberately fabricated and spread by the ED in a malified manner. This, Kavitha said, was done in order to smear her reputation. As a result, before she came in for day 2 of her questioning, K Kavitha made it a point to publicly show all of her phones used by her in an effort to imply that she will now submit her phones before the central agency and that she has not tried to tamper with any evidence, as implied by the BJP and the ED. But building its case of collusion between the capital and South group, between the Aam Aadmi Party and some parties in the South like the BRS and YSRCP, the ED in its remand note has said that certain parts of the final liquor policy report were found in mobile phones of members of the South group 2 days before the report was even submitted to the Council of Ministers in Delhi. Kavitha claims that all of her phones have already been given to the ED. Sources, however, say that the phones that Kavitha have submitted and that today were held up by her were not the phones that were used by her at the time that the liquor policy was being formulated. Essentially, the charge is that the phones given by the BRS leader were bought by her way after the policy had been formulated. The question then is that through this move, is there an attempt to try and mislead the investigation?
Modi is misusing his power and he is using the constitutional bodies to threaten against those leaders who raise the voice against Modi ji and failures of Modi ji.
The BRS and Ms. Kavitha are very intelligent and adept at spinning a narrative against the Bharatiya Janata Party when she is being questioned with copious amount of evidence. So here is a desperate woman who is knee deep in this liquor scam, where consistently all the other accused and witnesses are stating that she is the kingpin.
केसीआर को उनको एक जॉइंट फ्रंट बनना चाहिए और किसी तरीके से तानाशाही सरकार को हटाने के लिए समाधान इसका यही है। इनके यहाँ जो करप्ट लोग हैं, चाहे शुभेंदु अधिकारी हों या मतलब एक नहीं है, अडानी के बारे में कुछ नहीं कर रहे।
और के कविता को इसमें घबराने की और इसमें सोचने की और इसमें राजनीति करने की जरूरत नहीं है। अगर आप पाक साफ हैं तो आप बाहर आ जाएंगे। अगर आप भ्रष्टाचार में संपूर्ण रूप से लिप्त हैं तो जेल जाना पड़ेगा आपको।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us on the debate, Guru Prakash, national spokesperson of the BJP, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate Dinesh Chaudhary, spokesperson of the BRS, and author Sanjay Jha. Mr. Chaudhary, I want to come to the specifics. Let's take a look at some of the IMEI numbers which help identify a mobile phone and the phones that were submitted by Ms. Kavitha. Now, 2 things are made very clear by these IMEI numbers. Point number 1 is that the phones, some of them that have been submitted by Ms. Kavitha, were bought after the case investigation had started. These are not the phones that were in use by her at the time the policy was formulated. How is that? It is on the 8th of July that this entire episode blew up, 8th of July 2022. However, one of the phones submitted by Ms. Kavitha has been bought by her in October 2022. Then how is this October 2022 phone relevant to the investigation at all? It was bought way after the whole thing had already started, the investigation had started.
Padmaja, there is a misconception that is floating around. First of all, Kavitha ji has submitted every phone she has been using since the past year till date. And if you look at it, this is the photo which has been spread by some elements which are trying to create a misconception. And if you see the rounded up green one, that is the name which has been, that is the IMEI number mentioned by CBI and ED, which ends with 3009.
Yes.
That is been mentioned and she has submitted it. And another one, look at this, even this number underlined by her, it has been submitted. So she has submitted every phone she has been using from the past year to clear these misconceptions. But there are people who make mountain out of a molehill.
No.
So we can't.
For example, here is the phone which is clearly missing. Mr. Chaudhary, here is the phone that is missing. There are numbers which the ED has put in its remand note. You can see them on our screens right now. The ones that are missing are 35194 2134 806445 and 35194 311 60846. These phone numbers are missing right now. These phones.
Has this been informed by the ED? Has ED come out with this statement?
No, this is being alleged by the BJP, saying that these are the numbers that are missing right now.
No, no, Padmaja, I fail to understand. How is BJP the judge, jury and executioner in this case? We have seen BJP leaders trying to mislead the public and the nation in the name of ED and CBI. For example, let me show you a few things. Here is BJP spokesperson Sudhanshu Trivedi claiming this is a 10,000 crore scam. And here we have a statement from Telangana BJP president Bandi Sanjay claiming this is a 1 lakh crore scam. And BJP leaders have been claiming this even before CBI or ED has conducted inquiry and named Kavitha ji as a suspect. Kavitha ji is not an accused. Please let them know this.
Okay, let's take
ED
it one
has
at a
clearly
time.
mentioned this to the
second
court.
thing that you have mentioned is that these are hugely inflated figures only in order to tarnish the reputation of the BRS. But point number one is, Guru Prakash, the BRS is saying ED hasn't come and said any of this on record. Your leaders in Telangana are already saying that she has destroyed her phone and she should be arrested. On what basis are you saying all this? This is all cooked up. Kavitha has held up the phone saying all of this I'm going to submit to the ED. The BJP is a liar. Guru Prakash.
Padmaja, we have 3 pointed questions to the spokesperson from the BRS. Number one, the BRS, which was TRS in 2014, claimed that they have zero political fund. They now have declared a fund of 870 crores. Question number one. Question number two, what was the need of changing so many mobile phones and so many numbers? Question number three, what is the relationship of Kavitha ji with the linchpin of the liquor scam like P. Sharat Chandra, Amit Arora, who has made allegations against Kavitha ji in his statement to the Enforcement Directorate? I request the spokesperson from the BRS to give me a pointed reply on these 3 questions. The sudden increment of fund of BRS, the relationship of Kavitha ji with the linchpin of the liquor scam, and number 3, this is the sudden gain of fund, and also this the change in the mobile phones that has happened so rampantly. There has to be, because there is a saying in Hindi, chor ki daadhi mein tinka.
But Dinesh Chaudhary is saying there is no change in mobile phones.
If you have done nothing.
That's what Ms. Kavitha is saying, that this whole canard of mobile phones being changed and destroyed is being leaked by ED. ED has not made any statement about it. These are canards, she is saying.
No, why are you putting ED in a victim box? ED is an organization, ED is an institution, is doing its work. Let's not target ED here, because that is a different case altogether. We have simple pointed question from the spokesperson of the BRS, to which absolutely there is no answer. What is the relationship between P. Sharat Chandra Reddy, who is the linchpin of the liquor scam, sir? What is the relationship between Amit Arora and K Kavitha, who is again a protagonist of the scam, sir? You have to make this clarification. You cannot target institutions like ED and CBI, for which I want to put this on record. ED is an institution that is attached properties of more than 1 lakh crore, sir. ED is a respectable institution that has a touch property of Syed Salahuddin, a terrorist, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Iqbal Mirchi. So do you want to stand with these terrorists when you attack the Enforcement Directorate? I want to ask you tonight. I have put across 3 pointed questions to you. Please throw some light on that and then we will understand your case.
Okay,
what is the relationship of K Kavitha with the Delhi liquor scam protagonist? Have you not benefited from it? Please give me some answers.
Dinesh Chaudhary.
Padmaja, before going into that, I would like to play a small clip how BJP tries to mislead public using ED in this case. We have statements from central ministers, not people ordinary. Look at Kishan Reddy saying that Kavitha has destroyed our phones.
Cell phone lanu dwansam chesaru oka jawab cheppandi mundu. లక్షల రూపాయల విలువైనటువంటి సెల్ ఫోన్లను మిగతా వాళ్ళందరూ ఎందుకు చేయలేదు? మీరు ఒక్కరే ఎందుకు చేశారు?
And this is Tarun Chugh, in charge of BJP and General Secretary of BJP.
इतने फोन क्यों लिए गए, क्यों तोड़े गए, किसके लिए तोड़े गए, कहां से आए, कौन ले रहा था, कौन दे रहा था?
So, BJP is using ED as its maligning agent, trying to stifle the voice of opposition parties who are questioning Modi all over the country.
Point? What G. Kishan Reddy is saying, Mr. Chaudhary, what G. Kishan Reddy is saying is already mentioned by the ED inside court. So here is what the ED has submitted in court. They have said that two of the phone numbers are listed by the Enforcement Directorate, and they say that the IMEI of one number has been changed 6 times in 4 months. And these are the numbers, sir, on your screen right now, which have been listed by the ED. And that's what G. Kishan Reddy is saying, that why have you destroyed so many handsets in a period of 6 months?
No, Padmaja, you need to know, you need to differentiate between this. ED has jumped the gun saying that Kavitha has destroyed her mobiles, and today she has provided them to them. She has provided every mobile she has been using from the past 1 year to them.
But sir, I am just putting out for you the mobile phones which are still missing. If you tally, Mr. Chaudhary, if you tally the numbers which are mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate and those which have been submitted by Kavitha ji, there are phones which are missing, Mr. Chaudhary.
Make its own trial in media.
There are phones which are still missing.
Has ED mentioned it?
It is very easy. It is common sensical.
Has
you
ED
just
mentioned
tally
it?
the numbers.
Put out a statement? Padmaja, let us not make it a media trial. Let ED come out with the statement.
Okay, the ED hasn't come out with a statement.
Let ED come out with the statement.
This is a media trial where you just put out a little bit of evidence in the public domain, you put out a little bit in your remand note, and then you throw people to the wolves. Ishkaran Bhandari.
Padmaja ji, 2 aspects to this. Firstly, the entire thing flows from what the Delhi government's policy was. In that, CBI has emphatically said that the phones were changed. There were arguments in court today where the CBI has alleged that Mr. Sisodia, on the day LG referred the matter to CBI, changed his phone. So those are emphatic statements in that case. On Madam Kavitha, the sources were saying, and there was covered in media, that she has destroyed all her phones. Now she comes out and says that all my phones have been given. Now that's a strategy which is she has followed with her legal advice, which is very simple to see. It is 2 + 2 is equal to phone. Either she has given all the phones, which the ED when it goes to court will say we have gotten all the phones, or she has not given all the phones. If she has not given all the phones, she will land in worse trouble. But for that, partly I would agree, ED's statement would have to come in court. Has she given all the phones or has she not given all the phones? None of us sitting here have any way of answering whether she has given all the phones or not. Because in Mr. Sisodia's case, even the defense is now admitting that the phones were changed. So that is there for ED and that is there for CBI. But because it just happened today, where she said, I have given all the phones, we will have to wait for what CBI or ED says in the court. Have they gotten all the phones? Or she is going to be in worse trouble that she has destroyed phones or changed the IMI numbers because digital evidence is impossible to erase. So then she will be in worse trouble, but we will have to wait for ED or CBI to speak on that.
Okay, Sanjay Jha.
Padmaja, I just want to make 3 short points. Number 1, the credibility of India's investigating agencies is at an all-time abysmal low. I'll give you an example. In Maharashtra, where I live, it's on record, you can Google it, an MLA of the BJP who was formerly with the Congress party, when he joined the BJP, he publicly made a statement that now I can sleep peacefully at night because I don't have any worries about the CBI or the ED raiding me. Obviously, later on, he denied it, but forget that. We all know the truth. Now, these are statements being made now publicly. Point number two, 95% of the cases, and this is an Indian Express survey, which established that 95% of the cases target only the opposition leaders. Now, I'm not going to get into the intricacies of the debate that you're doing today.
But Mr. Jha, we should get into intricacies, because if we make sweeping statements that all of the ED's investigations are all against the opposition, let's talk about the evidence at hand.
So
were there mobile phones? Yes, there were. Have some of them been destroyed? The ED claims that they have. Are there IMEI numbers which are changing repeatedly, which means that you keep changing your handset? Yes, there are. So let's talk about specific evidence at hand and not generalities.
Okay, Padmaja, let me
Why are you changing phones? Simple. Today, Mr. Sisodia says, oh, I changed phone, and he said this in court today. He said, I changed phones because I wanted to upgrade. Why did I remove evidence? Because I just wanted to wipe out the old messages. Why are you doing this? And why are you doing it immediately after an investigation starts? That's the problem.
Same day.
Okay, now let me answer you once again very quickly. I've given you evidence of the fact that a man who joined the BJP openly made a statement saying now he stands protected against any harassment by ED and CBI. These are manifestations of the kind of political vendetta culture that exists under Mr. Modi's government.
But sir, you're again talking about a generality. I'm asking you a specific question on why would you submit a phone bought in October for a deal that was struck in February to June? You exchanged messages between February to June. You bought a phone in October, you gave it to the ED. What's the point?
Okay, now, can I finish my sentence before I answer your question? You interrupted me twice. I haven't even had a 30-second flow here. Point number two, I want to repeat it for the benefit of your viewers. And the viewers of Times Now, you need to know this, that 95% of the cases since Mr. Modi became Prime Minister target only the opposition, not the BJP. So the great washing machine theory applies to the ruling party. Na khaunga, na khane dunga is probably India's biggest con job since 1947. Point number three, look at the ED's conviction rate. Now, that's the point I'm coming to, Padmaja. You know, we are debating on the Times Now about one mobile phone, mobile phone. I'm not any forensic expert. And by the way, I don't think anybody on the panel is. So let's not speculate here. I'm sure there are lawyers who will fight out on both the cases.
So we are not sitting here debating as experts ourselves. We are only quoting evidence which is a matter of record. This is phone numbers, handsets, phone devices that the ED has put on record in court.
Padmaja, let me then answer you what the special court in Maharashtra said in the case where Sanjay Raut was put in jail for 2 months. When he was released, the special court's statement was damning. You know what they said, Padmaja? They said Sanjay Raut's arrest was illegal. He didn't have to be arrested. And this is the kind of draconian, authoritarian atmosphere we have in India, where a senior politician...
Well, in that case, a special court in Delhi also said that Satyendra Jain is being allowed to continue as minister. That is when he was a minister, despite serious cases of moral turpitude against him. That also has been said by a special court. A special court has also repeatedly extended the custody and refused bail to people like Mr. Sisodia and Mr. Jain. So how can you then call the ED's case against them a case of witch hunt? I would come back to you with so many examples.
Well, let me tell you, Padmaja, I don't think anybody in their right senses, using any rational common sense, will tell you that politicians who have a legitimate case of corruption or malfeasance against them, the cases should go on, whether it's a Congress, whether it's a BJP, whether it's The irony in India, the paradox in India is that the BJP people seem to be washed in pure water.
But Mr.
When the Karnataka government is today...
Every time we only make a sweeping generalization and say, because the overarching sentiment is that the BJP guys are not being prosecuted, it means that the rest of those who are, it must be a witch hunt. Conversely, somebody can argue maybe the BJP guys are less corrupt than the others. So only 10% of those being prosecuted are from the BJP.
Well, Padmaja, let me tell you, Karnataka, I think the entire country and the world has seen how the 40% commission government has recently had the embarrassment of having people caught with their hands in the till. And nobody there gets arrested at all. I mean, it's like a joke on this country. It's a travesty of India's democracy. I know that BJP spokesperson is there on the program. He will probably answer it. He looks like a reasonable, decent guy. But what is he going to defend?
Okay.
There is no case.
Guru Prakash, you've just been certified a reasonable, decent guy by Sanjay Jha. Then how do you explain the unreasonable and indecent prosecution of your political rivals? And the trend seems to suggest that. Hence, Kavitha is also saying that she is a part of that trend.
I hope he won't indulge in fake news and disappoint me.
Padmaja, yes. Thank you, Sanjay ji. And Padmaja, I have a couple of response to Mr. Sanjay Jha. The Indian Express report that he quoted, I want to show a similar report which came out on March 16th. And it categorically says that high conviction rate of Enforcement Directorate, politicians are accused in only 3% cases. Only 3% cases. And there is a way to calculate the conviction rate. ED's conviction rate is highest in the country. It's 96%. It is higher than the NIA. It is higher than the CBI. Now look at the way you calculate the conviction rate. Out of 25 cases that has been fully disposed, 24 of those cases, listen to me very carefully, 24 out of 25 cases, people have been convicted. So that is the 96% conviction rate of Enforcement Directorate.
I think,
I would sincerely...
We'll quickly pan our camera. There's a very strong earthquake here in the National Capital Region.